I'm gone. Hmm. So when I come back and start rapping, right? And it's like now I get when somebody telling somebody, oh, he about to leave, and then folks start coming around. But last time, wasn't nobody. Actually, this morning, you probably did what? And then if you pre-plan when I got here, that's a whole other story. So choose the hole that you go down very carefully, because either way it goes. So you can say, oh, well, we pre-planned what we got. So why would you start before somebody gets it? So it's knocked out now. Then, why would you bring all that up prior to? Then, why not say nothing? That's the case. All right, might as well introduce. See, a lot of stuff that maybe they don't really make sense. So while I'm gone, you usually would do what? They say, oh yeah, we use people. Okay, so that's what the case was, which could very well be so if you wake it up. You know, when I wake up early in the morning, so I walked around, so you tell me, so that's what I got up. Then if you tell me, oh, it's just Bluetooth device, that's clearly almost impossible. You still have to have other people because you can only get in so much of a range. So you could, but you would still need more than one person. It could be all on one person. You can have somebody very well inside the building or using the call box. But it would still have to be one, which means you have to work. Also means that you have your name and you have your intro. You're trying to say me, it's like, so why else would you really be? Is this really entertaining? Are you trying? Is it to improve an area? And then what did you do with some people that necessarily were what? Am I the only one? So many questions left unanswered, especially when entities don't explain themselves. You can't really say what you're calling it is. You have to basically say, hey, we were harassing, or hey, we were getting ideas, or hey, we were protecting. Anything other is what? And if you no longer have a reason, like just say somebody, then it's like you're definitely a double doo doo. Like you clearly know what's up. In fact, that you play with it. It's like that was the only one that was the nickname like, okay, well, let me give you different avenues. One, these group of people are looking for that. These group of people are looking for this. These group of people are trying to get over. And these group of people are trying to cover up. You got people trying to save their jobs. You got people trying to be nosy. You got people trying to figure out what's going on to rectify it. You probably also got a device that may have been used or utilized or going to be utilized to try to combat crime or do this or do this, and or medical advancement. I mean, clearly reading your mind is a medical advancement, right? Then on top of that, you got, oh, cops or what? Cops would use this for what? But then when you don't pay somebody or something goes wrong and you feel you can probably cover it up, all that stuff trickles downhill unless this is the counseling part. And since this isn't the counseling part or the get better part, 9 times out of 10, this will be trying to figure out what, who was either watching, who was being nosy, who was trying to help, or who was trying to figure out to get over, or maybe to combat it. Maybe we want to figure out how to combat it. Since people know, somebody might have got some good ideas and try to do it on their own, and now we need to make sure that we know how to counter it. So a lot of things going into it would not necessarily be wrong, right? That somebody would want to make money off of it, that can be used as let's say many applications could be used for being nosy, covering up something because now you know everything about that person. You know that person knows or don't know. Then you could do it for medical experimentation because you want to need to know what the person's thinking when they're doing this or when they're doing that or what's making them do it. Then you want to also look at the implications to do it with policing. Then you probably want to run it through a couple of different entities to make sure what, to see what's really going on if there's a problem. What's the problem in these shelters? What's the problem in Niger? What's going on with the system? Is it some type of under what do they call it, like a network under the table? Or they only look out for certain people doing certain things, or will they try to kick them out? Will they try to get them an apartment? You know, depending upon this, what area will they send them in? Like, what are the many different applications or faucets that this individual can go through? But then 9 times out of 10, you put it around the wrong criminal element, you get something else. Like, oh, you put the wrong step before something. Like, you put it in front of a pimp and start talking about sexual stuff, which the next thing you know, the pimp's gonna be like, oh, this is money right here. And he gonna tell somebody else about, oh, I got this new thing, or I heard about this new whoop-de-whoop. Next thing you know, or a psychologist talks to another psychologist and be like, this is groundbreaking because you can actually know what's going through somebody's head. And in hospitals, what to look for when you do what? When you have somebody coming in, did they really do drugs? Do they know they're doing drugs? Are they brainwashed or are they not brainwashed? Is somebody messing with their psychology? Are they in trouble? Do they need help? What to look for? Oh, well, in him, he looked like he was looking around. It's not that he's paranoid. This was actually what? Being harassed. He seems timid, shy, withdrawn, doesn't really give information like he should or he does, which makes you question, does he know what he's doing? Is he knowing what he's doing? Why did he do it? At the hospital, like, what is he looking for? Is he looking for a free bed? Because some people be like, oh, he's coming here for a free bed, free meal. Give him, like, they kept giving me juices. And I'm like, are you trying to make me look like I'm coming here for a free meal? Because I'm really not. Then I was like, okay, wow, I don't really have stamps. But that one time they kept me, and I was like, wow, this is kind of good. I was like, I didn't think about this, but I don't really have money. So when I get out of here, I'm gonna have no food, right? And I was like, oh, this is weird. And that's probably why somebody started bringing up to try to keep turning stuff and making me look bad, to look like I used. Because I'm like, I was kept in here. Not that I wanted to stay, but I thought I was like, well, I really don't have money when I get out, so it's probably good. And then one time I stayed at the hospital, I was like, it was good for you to differentiate from who wants to stay because they need to stay and who wants to stay because it's free food. I think that was at whatchamacallit. And I sat there like, oh, hold on. And I sat and debate with myself like, I need to go. But then, if I go back, and my main thing was, I need to go, but if I go back, they're going to start up. Then I think something hit me when I realized, one, I think I did have a little money in my car, so I went and got some and tried to get some food brought in. But I was like, when I get out, I got all my stuff. I was like, oh, now I see somebody else is trying to keep me because when I get out, my refrigerator unplugged. So I didn't really think about that till the last bit. So was he staying there because he had no food at home? What to look for? Sound and what in a patient should you look for to know the different areas to be able to spot? So technically you have 1,000 applications or things that you can use stuff for, but you're playing. That's what I didn't get. I was like, okay, so if you're sitting there, oh, and what if we're not? Okay, well then, what is all of this? Be like, what is all of this? I could have told you the shelter game. Actually, I didn't tell you the shelter game, probably. Actually, because it's kind of like nice. You know what I mean? Like, not saying that you got yours that you like and those that you don't. But not saying off and that's the X and this, that, and third. But you never know what it might be off of. Just a personal preference. You might let some get away with more than others. You might look at this one as gay and this one is that and that one is this and might not like this one and might not like that one and the same thing you do in nature. The randomization process, the moving process. You should even look at, like, when my apartment caught on fire, what do you do? Like, they did that no smoking thing, which I think is outlandish. Like, no smoking on grounds, too. I was like, dang. That's like OD, but like maybe do designated smoking areas. Dang, I said no smoking on grounds. Like, I can see throughout the halls, maybe, or if you have like a medicinal marijuana, it's permissible. Like inside departments, if you have like the filters, maybe kind of, sort of. But I'm like, because the fires, I don't think none of the fires were started by a cigarette or a blunt or drugs, like using of drugs. I don't think none of them were started because of that. I think it was an oven. One, I think, was an oven. The other one, I think, was a heater. And what the other one was. Yeah, mine, of course, was the heater and whatchamacallit. But I do get like the hallways. You smoking in people's hallways. Like, you shouldn't smoke in people's hallways. Smoke in your apartment, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, that don't make no sense. But then, like, have potpourris in the hallway. Why don't you have outlets in the hallway to put like a air freshener? A proper ventilation. That's what they should be worried about. It's like, why are you not worried about ventilation? Them things are so clogged up. But I don't know, somebody must have heard me complaining. I started complaining about the dang elevator ones. I was like, you can't breathe in this. You got COVID and these things is caked up. Like, it's got so much hair, dust, dander, and grit and dirt in these freaking elevator ventilation things. So when you in the elevator, you in the elevator with somebody. So if they got COVID, but you got COVID by the time you come out. Especially you go to a high flow. Man, you're gonna linger in the elevator. But I'm sitting here like thinking about all this stuff, like the implications to the stuff is crazy good. But it's like, when do you stop? I'm like, if you kept going and then you need somebody else need to stop you. That, like, where's your check and balance? Somebody should have been saying, yeah, you need to stop. We all good. You're all good, and call it a day. But then somebody else, I think, started putting value to people's lives, or you know what I mean? Like, start, oh, well, we can probably do that. Like, that's why I feel like, in that, when you start talking to other people about stuff. And somebody else started talking about saving 100. I was like, whoa, saving money? Then you got a whole nother element. Then you got people plotting. Then you got people like, what, trying to hit my jaw? I saw 3 dead. I saw him ironing. I saw the chick ironing. I'm like, why y'all, or the guy ironing? So I'm like, why, right? Always eyeing the dude on the elevator ironing. It was this dude on the elevator. I was like, why are we? And your child is right there. And I don't know what type of argument that was. That was like a real random, oh, we got a problem. Like, what? Okay. Like, I don't know you. What the heck are you talking about? And that was probably what you call it, telling them to start something. And that's what sparks an investigation. Like, oh, you trying to do this the wrong way. Somebody's stealing, like, why would you make it seem like that? My idea was not that. Make it seem like somebody, like, I guess that's what you thought, defamation. Well, like, that's a lie. I was like, my thing was saying you could have proved a lot of things, like as far as how you're staying in NYCHA, what you probably should have and don't have, or what they don't do and do. I'm like, I've thought that might be what somebody's doing, is actually haven't paid or haven't even started to pay, but was making it appear as they did. So it's like, oh, so why would? And then when people start asking me questions about my past, I'm like, why? This is psychology, right? It's got to be something psychology. But then I'm like, why is somebody acting like they know me ever since they were little? Or is she showing like the dangers of this, maybe? But then I'm like, okay, so you shown that, you shown this, you shown that. So when are we concluding? Like, when do you say, oh, like, now it just seems like somebody's going back through and telling people this is what happened, and I know y'all this, and kind of nanny boo boo. And I'm like, I wouldn't nanny boo boo. And it's like, if you did it in front of something else, if something got weird, then you put a pause on everything. So now you're messing with something else, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm telling people, and that's another thing that puts it back on Mr. Mind Read. Like, why? And everybody that Mr. Mind Read tells, is like, why would y'all sit around and just kind of, and that will of course make you need to cover stuff up. I'm like, that nigga said that jump so much. I'm just like, yeah, what you gonna call it? Yeah, they like, pass it around. It's weird when it gets prolonged. And then what you could have done. So my thing is, instead of continuing, that's another thing. You should definitely pump your brakes. Like, you should make it like this should be the comfortable period. Oh, it was gonna be until you, of course that happened, babe, because Joseph told you then or thought then I'm fine now. It's now just my privacy mainly. And you know I reluctantly do stuff because what? My privacy, and people were harassing. That's when you really should say, okay, we good, he good. I'm sure we can try to go over here and do something and whoop de whoop and make sure that. But basically, you were in too deep and you were too curious to figure out what's going on and what was doing this, so you kept pushing. And my thing is, hopefully, I feel like it wasn't because you would have found something, seen something, something would have occurred. All of this talking, somebody would at least went back to the place to figure out. Because to be totally honest with you, I don't know what the hell. Like somebody really needs to sit down and have a conversation. There are some stuff I still haven't brought up that I was like, what was that? Unless you really were just trying to make somebody crazy, what you said. Which is, I'm like, wow, like, it's gonna be like, I'm already tired thinking about all the different stuff that just happened the last 2 times. I think I went over there and I had a nice talk with somebody in the Bronx. But then I was supposed to go over there and actually chill with them. But I'm like, every time I think to do something, somebody comes and starts manipulating. I was like, I need to sit here and one, either show I'm not trying to do this in a bad way and X myself, because you know I'm not. 2, I'm trying to show you that I'd be okay. And it was more so my privacy. But then you go all the way over to somebody else's house. And outside, I'm like, whoa. That was across the street too. I was like, you across the street, outside, calling stuff out a window. And this wasn't at my apartment. And that's why I left there and went back. Because I was thinking, like, no, I should just stay here. It's probably going to be quieter. people probably won't follow because they know this time what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say, hey, stop. Let me do something. Stop all the extra chaotic because something isn't right. But then instead of stopping, it's his show. He calls it, we're going to keep going. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'm like, you should stop. I kept saying that. You should stop. You should stop. Stop, 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 stop. The last 2 times, stop, 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 stop. Can you stop? Stop, stop. And see, and people gotta stop lying. I'm like, what's so bad with telling the truth? That is so disgusting. That's why I'm like, that's why I be looking for the right person to pull me out of the situation. Because I'm like, okay, hospitals, you fucked up, put some money on it. Target, you was doing some shit, put some money on it. Just put a little money on it, let a nigga move out the way. I'm like, that's the least. Hold some things accountable. Okay, this happened there, we know it. This happened there, we know it. He wasn't trying to scam y'all. Y'all people shouldn't have acted in on it. Y'all should have just kept doing your job. Oh, well then we were supposed to test it. Okay, well then pay the nigga so he can move out the way then. Oh, we gotta figure out see, that's your problem. It's not in succession. It's in your succession. If you keep doing stuff the way you're doing it, it's probably not good. If somebody's in the middle of it saying, yo, it's not good. Something doesn't feel right. And I kept saying that. I was like, something trying to stop something from doing something. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, yes, I get it. Like, but you don't get it. They're gonna keep pushing for this. Like, and they're gonna keep and keep and keep and keep and keep and keep. And okay, well, you're strong. Okay, but honey, not with what they doing. They doing some next. Now I'm probably strong enough. But I'm like, what they were doing was not kosher. That's what I'm like, y'all, oof. I hope some people go to hell, to be honest with you. Like, even some of the people playing now, like, seriously, don't ever play with stuff. Some, and I say some of the people, not all, meaning you have to know where what and how you were doing it. So you're not going to hell if what. Good morning. I don't think he might be. Might be asleep.